Greetings. Rains and winds in the city of Yaoundé this weekend have registered enormous damages, destroying countless houses, schools, and administrative offices. One of the schools heavily hit or badly hit is Government Bilingual High School at Tugebe, with more than 20 classrooms destroyed. The wind showed no mercy at the Yaoundé 3 DO's office. We'll have the details in this edition. And Cameroon is in the grip of a worsening human rights crisis, as 1,943 cases of violence and violations were documented in 2023, raising a serious concerns for the year ahead. And as the Christian moon signals the imminent arrival of the holy month of Ramadan, mosques in Douala are undergoing renovations, and Muslims are diligently preparing for the spiritual journey that begins tomorrow, Tuesday. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Hello everyone, I'm Maureen D, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Cameroon is on the grip of a worsening human rights crisis, as 1,943 cases of violence and violations were documented in 2023, raising serious concerns for the year ahead. We talked to a non-governmental organization, Mont Avenue, who discloses a troubling increase in arbitrary arrest and detention, sounding the alarm on the deteriorating situation in Cameroon. More in the following story.
Pour l'année 2023, nous avons enregistré 1943 cas situations de violence et de violation.
In a shocking revelation, Mont Avenue reveals a disturbing landscape of 1,943 recorded cases of violence and human rights violations in Cameroon throughout 2023.
Pour l'année 2023, nous avons...
In 2023, we registered 1,943 cases of violations, and going by specific figures, we registered 598 cases of murder, with the Northwest and Southwest region recording alone 403 cases of murder, with 219 civilians murdered in 2023, and 89 forces of law and order equally murdered. In all, registered 209 cases of kidnappings, 106 persons in the Northwest and Southwest regions alone. The report exposes 209 cases of abductions and 169 individuals kidnapped in the Northwest and Southwest regions. Of particular concern is the sharp rise in arbitrary arrests and detentions.
Les chiffres les plus élevés, on va dire,
the most disturbing figures has to do with arrest and detention of civilians. More than 1,000 people were arbitrarily arrested and detained in the year 2023. And the Northwest and Southwest region alone registered 1,069 persons arbitrarily arrested and detained. Why these soaring figures? When forces of law and orders are attacked, they get into the village, embarked on systematic control, and almost everyone is arrested and detained, and most end up paying before they are left to go back home. The alarming situation doesn't overshadow the apprehension within the civil society regarding the outlook for 2024. We are very close to the electoral year, and during such period there's a lot of tension, a lot of hate speech, no freedom of expression, a lot of limitations when it has to do with movements. In 2024, we're going to have more of that, and that's where our fear lies. While 2022 witnessed approximately 1,500 instances of violence and violations, the year 2023 saw a sharp rise with 1,943 documented cases. Notably, there is a decline in murders, dropping to 403 in the Northwest and Southwest regions compared to 2022's grim toll of 700 lives lost. As the crescent moon signals the imminent arrival of the holy month of Ramadan, mosques in Douala are undergoing renovations, and Muslim faithfuls are diligently preparing for the spiritual journey that begins tomorrow, Tuesday. In the following report, we provide you with an in-depth look at the physical, material, and spiritual preparations in the city of Douala. More in the full story. In the bustling city of Douala, anticipation builds as the beginning of Ramadan approaches, expected to commence on Tuesday, March 12, 2024, pending on the sighting of the new moon. The significance of this period extends beyond mere fasting. It calls for a comprehensive preparation encompassing physical, material, and spiritual aspects.
Il y a des mois qui précèdent, qui sont aussi des mois sacrés. Il y a ce mois proprement dit. Et le mois commence le lundi. C'est le premier jour du mois de Ramadan.
Construction workers accelerate their efforts on the Pariso Mosque at the Newbell neighborhood, ensuring its readiness for the month of Ramadan. Simultaneously, faithful Muslims, spanning from children to parents, are engaging in a thorough preparation process, reflecting the seriousness and endurance required during this sacred time.
Pour le moment, les mosquées sont en train de se préparer pour faire des programmations par rapport au tafsir, par rapport, n'est-ce pas, aux prières.
The preparation is not confined to the physical realm. Women tasked not only with participation in the fast, but also with preparing for the evening meal that breaks it, organize themselves with the assistance of family members. This collaborative effort underscores the communal spirit that defines Ramadan. More than just a physical readiness, the preparations delve into spiritual realm. They serve as a guide for Muslims to internalize the true essence and significance of the month of Ramadan, fostering a deeper connection with their faith. And Ramadan is a period considered by Muslims as a spiritual month where they are obliged to get closer to Allah in intensifying prayers and observing a fasting for 30 days. As Muslims enter this holy month, March 12, 2024, there are some do's and don'ts that they expected to put in place for a smooth fasting period. Meeting with an Imam, an Islamic feature in Douala reporter Saleh Sharifa sought to know some of the do's and don'ts while preparing for the 30 days of fasting.
Starting this month without a program is not good. They have exactly to have a target during this month. It's forgiveness for Allah and to be also available and more charitable during this month to share between brothers what they have, and also they have to avoid, since this month is a month of forgiveness, and all Muslims should find out, should organize themselves in order to get the forgiveness from Allah by doing, inshallah ta'ala, good things, but by avoiding, inshallah, sins during all this month. And the most important thing also, to be available for the prayers during the night, for Taraweeh, to be available to read the Holy Quran as they can, and at the same time to share something to poor people. Somebody who is alive during this month of Ramadan and healthy and pass all this month of Ramadan without getting forgiveness from Allah, he will be a loser. For this reason, all Muslims should avoid as they can sins, lying, cheating. What Allah has forbidden, they have to avoid it during this month, because it is something very important in their life. They are very lucky to be alive, and they have to try as they can to, inshallah ta'ala, to take benefit during this month.
Heavy rains in the capital city, Yaoundé, accompanied by strong winds, have registered enormous damages, destroying countless houses, schools, and administrative offices. One of the schools heavily touched is a government bilingual high school at Tugebe, with more than 20 classrooms destroyed. The wind showed no mercy at the Yaoundé 3 DO's office, as we hear the following story with our reporter, Hyson Cha.
The government's bilingual high school at Tukube Yaoundé visited by another bad incident, barely 2 months after the stampede that rendered many injured. The Friday night torrent rain and wind carried away the roof of these structures, leaving thousands of students without classrooms to study.
We have 4 blocks of classes that were destroyed. In total, 23 classes were destroyed, with 10 completely without a roof. Other property like cars and other things were also destroyed.
A similar situation here at the government bilingual practicing school Yaoundé, with some buildings affected.
A catastrophic weekend at the Yaoundé 3 Duos office.
With a greater portion of the roof completely destroyed, different offices shattered, documents soaked in a pool of water, a complete non-working day at the administrative office this Monday. The wild wind also visited a couple of families in Yaoundé, like this one at the Efola neighborhood, rendering many homeless as they keep wondering where to run to during the next rain.
And the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paula Tangandi, and that of Secondary Education, Nalova Lyonga, were at the scenes of the different incident sites this Monday, March 11, to take stock of the situation, a visit that permitted the ministers to take urgent measures to rehabilitate the buildings highly awaited by thousands of students. Take a listen to the 2 ministers after the visit.
Normally, following the civil protection policy, we have to do an evaluation and take appropriate measures to see if the structure can be reconstructed, or to see if there was anything which could hamper the smooth running of the establishment. So far, so good. I think that the directors in the Ministry of Secondary Education were here on Saturday, and they made already their first report. So the minister and myself, we have just come for an assessment, and I think that so far so good. Everything is on track, and if there's anything to do, the Minister of Secondary Education will do something and will necessarily accompany her in the task.
Something of this scale, it's just too much, but I'm asking them to have, to be strong enough to carry on with the school activities. We have some very important activities that are coming on, but we must make sure that the students are accommodated in very good classrooms for them to do what they have to do as far as the exams are concerned and other things that they have to do. So thank you so much. We'll just continue. This is only one school. There are other schools that have a problem. We're going to see the other schools. Thank you.
And 61% of flora and fauna species in Cameroon are threatened with extinction, with critical conditions observed in Guinea forests of West Africa. To address these environmental stakeholders convene in Cameroon's economic hub Douala to align with the Kunming-Montreal Biodiversity Framework. More on the story with our reporter Gladys Ambozima.
Environment stakeholders in Cameroon's littoral, west, northwest, and southwest regions are enhancing their knowledge of the Kunming-Montreal Biodiversity Framework, which addresses threats such as pollution, climate change, abusive resource exploitation, land use change, and invasive species.
But what we want here is to see how in Cameroon we can align our national target with the global biodiversity framework and our national strategy of development, because it's important to have to see how we will reconcile conservation and development.
The idea is here to understand how those drivers like pollution, climate change, land use system may affect biodiversity, and how can we do together from those sectors to improve the conservation of biodiversity.
Cameroon boast 92% of Africa's ecosystem types and shelters over 8,500 identified plant species and 271 endemic animals, with 80% of the rare population relying on biodiversity for food and health. This workshop is crucial for sensitizing local communities on biodiversity preservation.
In the Southwest region, we have more than 5 national parks. We have many national parks. It's going to help us to continue assisting our local population to work together with our population around local population, especially those who are around national park, to let them understand the new drivers and the new way to manage our park.
Transitioning from 20 biodiversity targets under the Aichi framework to 23 targets in the new framework, efforts aim to coordinate nationally and decentralize operations for more effective conservation.
The countries want to highlight the aspect of the gender issue, the aspect of resource mobilization, and also the issue of capacity buildings and technology transfer.
Improved coordination is expected to enhance domestic finances and engage the private sector in biodiversity preservation efforts.
And in a nostalgic tribute to pioneers of journalism and animation, Canal International marks International Women's Day by welcoming 16 TV icons on March 8, 2024. The familiar faces Solange Aisha, Rosemary Kedna, Sisako Tanko, and Sally Monsieur grace the screens, taking charge of various programs to the delights of the channel's viewers. More with our reporter, Saleh Sherifa.
Not the typical hosts one would expect on Canal International. The channel's top management orchestrated a special lineup on March 8 showcasing the return of iconic figures to the forefront of their programming.
It's right there and paints the ambience well.
Solange Aisha co-presented Canal Matin. Rosemary Gedna shared the 1 p.m. news desk. Sisako Tamko took the reins at 6:15 p.m. and Sally Mesiko commanded the 7:50 p.m. slot. With effortless grace, these stalwarts of journalism and national television animation guided Canal's broadcast, creating nostalgic experience for long-time viewers.
It was really a challenge for me. It was quite interesting, and then the fun that goes with it, the stress that and so on. So it was really nice, and I think it was really fun, and I think I will do it again next time.
Participating in the special International Women's Day program organized by Canal International, these renowned presenters shared their experience and wisdom, making the day a memorable one for both them and the new generation.
Next time we'll be better. Now that I know that you can.
Before the exceptional TV moments unfolded, a visit to the premises and a brief coaching session set the stage for this unique celebration. In gratitude, baskets filled with gifts were presented to these icons, recognizing their significant contributions to the channel and the industry. As Canal Group paid homage to these TV icons, the new generation revealed in their share moments, bridging the gap between the past and the present. The celebration not only showcased the talent and legacy of these media seniors, but also emphasized the continued importance of women in shaping the landscape of television journalism and animation.
The International Women's Day was equal an opportunity for women above 50 to revisit the nostalgic moments of the juvenile youth. In the following report, Kejang Henry at embassies, the women were more acrobatic at these little stitch of their life history.
There was just no other way to celebrate the International Women's Day than to converge around the swimming pool for a twilight gala with their folks above 50. From the corporate world, showbiz to retail businesses, these women who are enjoying the grace of having lived above half a century recall with nostalgia their juvenile. To say all is not lost, one could still perceive the beauty of these women from a very prudent distance despite their ages. And to prove they are still juicy and marketable, they had to manifest that through fashion show. The parade is not enough for these women above 50. They needed to do more to remind themselves of their youthfulness. They plunged into the swimming pool, catching fun like kids, admired by their men who looked enticed despite their own advanced ages. The chief executive of the littoral region, Samuel Dieudonné Ivaha Dubois, and his command staff were there to encourage the women in their resolve to break the pangs of male dominance, as the woman's world cannot be complete without the man.
Thank you so much, Kejan Henry and Tembe, and that's how we saw it on this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Figure another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.